It's great to see you. This video thing is working out great. Am really enjoying this part of it, and we've been getting a tremendous amount of positive feedback from it. A lot of the subscriptions are going up. The hits on the website are going up. We've been getting a lot of YouTube activity as people are subscribing to the YouTube channel. Brian D. McIntosh is the YouTube channel for now, and it's just been fantastic. I mean, what a great idea! I have to attribute my good friend Randy Fox for telling me to go video. Brian, he says you got to get out of the Stone Age, man. Go video. So that's what we've decided to do. It's been remarkable, and so I'm grateful to you. Thank you for making the transition. For those of you that are dialer inners for the last 2 years, we've been doing the dose via telephone, but we're not going to do that anymore because we're taking everything online. The Daily Dose is now the Daily Dose Online. And so we're going to follow that theme and that genre. We're going to move everything onto online. We're going to do everything on video. We're going to do everything on YouTube and post those videos to thedailydoseonline.com. And it's just going to be awesome. We're excited about it. I got a great lesson for you today. And I took this from my Navy background. For those that don't know, I have flown and do fly F/A-18 Hornets for the United States Navy. I had the pleasure of going to Top Gun and becoming an adversary instructor out there, and I learned a lot of lessons from flying fighter jets for the United States military. I've also learned a lot of lessons just from being on a battle staff and from working with top-level officers, captains and admirals, working on their staffs, and learning how battle management is done inside of the U.S. military. And there's something that the military does that I thought, this translates so well to business. It's called battle rhythm. Now, in the military, you have a battle rhythm. And what that means is when you go into an exercise, you go into an operation, an entire staff would have their calendar laid out for them. So they would know that we're going to do this meeting at 9 o'clock. We're going to have this meeting at 10:30. This product is due at this time. This product is due at this time. We're expecting this product back at such and such a time. We have another meeting at such and such a time, and that's when we produce the big master battle plan. We take that into a commanders meeting where we get approval from the commanders, and there's a whole process and a whole system of events that need to happen in a particular order and in sequence in order to be able to organize the entire battle, the entire rhythm of all of the ships and all of the forces and all of the men and all of the people and all of the processes that have to go into planning and executing an exercise. And I thought, battle rhythm is a great analogy for what we as entrepreneurs need to be able to do with our lives, because the reality is we have goals, things that we want to do. Hey, I want to increase my business by 20%. Hey, I want to increase my profits. I want to make $100,000 more this year than I did last year. I want to increase the size of my organization by 45% this year. Whatever your goals or aspirations might be. But the challenge is that if you don't have a plan to take you there, then it becomes very, very difficult. Some of us also have things that we want to do, like get into better shape. And some of us, I know me personally, I have a lot of goals that I've laid out for myself that are not all necessarily associated with business. I want to lose a certain number of pounds by a certain date. I want to get my book completed by a certain date. I want to do so many keynote speeches by a certain date. I want to get my business to a certain level by a certain date. I want to increase my income to a certain level by a certain date. And so I've got a lot of goals that I've laid out there, and I'm sure that you do too, because as entrepreneurs, that's what we do, right? The challenge, though, is that we don't have a commanding officer telling us where we need to be and what we need to do from day to day. And we don't have a boss telling us when to get out of bed and when to show up to work and when to go home every day. So how do you become as productive as you would be if you were, say, a military officer or an employee of a great company? And the answer is you need to establish your own battle rhythm as an entrepreneur. You need to have your staff, or if it's just you, on a rhythm that is going to take you where you want to go. What I mean by that is you need to have a daily action plan. You need to have something that you do day to day. Even if you're an entrepreneur, I know we always joke about, I want to get out of bed when I'm done sleeping. And we all do, right? But that's called retirement. That's not called entrepreneurship, right? Even entrepreneurs, the greats like Darren Hardy. Darren Hardy talks about all the time that he's out of bed at 5:30 in the morning. He reads for 30 minutes. He has his coffee. He does his workout. He's behind his desk at 7. He spends 90 minutes doing nothing but productive activities. Things that will generate business and increase his bottom line. Then he takes a 20-minute break, and then he does 90 more minutes. Then he has lunch with his spouse, and then he comes back and he does recordings and he does audios, and then he, I think he catches a sunset every day. That's something he promised himself he would do. So when it's time for the sun to go down, he goes out and he catches a sunset. And he does this day after day after day, and it's regimented, and it's set in stone. It's not negotiable, and that's how he makes sure that he gets it all in. You know, I've got a similar battle rhythm for myself, right? I get out of bed in the morning, and I immediately, when I get up, I stretch and I breathe and I journal, and then once I'm complete with that, I jump in the shower, brush my teeth, get my stuff on, I head out to work. I go to do my job, the United States Navy. I give the government their 8, 9, or 10 hours, or however many they demand that day. And then I come home, and when I come through the door, I kiss my children, kiss my wife. We spend about 20 minutes, and I am on the emails, and I'm on the phones from 5 o'clock until about 6 o'clock. I take a break to have dinner, sit with the kids. I come right back at 7, and I'm on the treadmill for 1 hour. I get my cardiovascular in. Some days I'll cycle that with weight training in between, so I'll 10 minutes on the treadmill, 10 minutes of the weights, back and forth for an hour. But I'm 1 hour of exercise every day, Monday through Friday, regardless. As soon as that's over, I typically have a conference call or a webinar at 8 o'clock. I run that from 8 to 9 o'clock. And then from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I work on my book. I do my writing, and I do 1 hour of writing consistently and religiously. And then from 10 to 10:30, I do my journaling. I reflect on my day. I figure out what I did well and what I didn't do well, and I make a plan to do even better tomorrow. And the key to all of this is you've got to track it, so that when you get to the end of your week, you can look back and say, did I follow my battle plan? Did I follow my battle rhythm? Did I do 1 hour of writing every day? Did I hit the treadmill and do 1 hour cardiovascular exercise 4 days a week or 5 days a week? Whatever activities are in line with your goals, they need to be tracked, because how else can you know how well you're doing? And here's the beauty of all of this. Just like anything else, it's consistent action. If you've never read Darren Hardy's book, The Compound Effect, you've got to get a hold of that thing. Consistent action repeated over time will bring you results. So can you imagine if you laid out a battle rhythm and you were strict with it and you were disciplined with it and you followed it rain or shine? If you really did get on the treadmill 1 hour a day, 4 or 5 days a week, if you really did write for 1 hour if you're in the process of writing a book, if you really did prospect for 30 minutes every day from such and such a time to such and such a time, and you did it religiously and with discipline, can you imagine the results you would have at the end of the year? It would be mind-boggling. So I encourage you to sit down and spell out your big 3. What big 3 things do you want to tackle this year? What big 3 goals and achievements do you want to see come to fruition this year? And then figure out exactly what activities you would need to engage in to make those happen, and then build yourself a battle rhythm around those activities. And then watch this year explode. Go out there today, guys, and make it happen.